Hello everybody. With all the cases that we are reviewing this week, I just find that it's appropriate for us to talk about professional audit standards. And this is also one part of our discussion during the week, which I hope will guide you in preparing your assignment at the end of the week. What are the 10 generally accepted accounting principles? I'm sure by now you all know this by heart. If you don't, for the audit exam, if and when you sit for the CPA exam, I know that this is something that you will remember, or at least for the moment you should. But I refer to the 10 generally accepted auditing standards as the rules of engagement. The importance of this to the auditing services that we provide is equally as important as the Constitution to the constitutional law that we observe today. So remember that, class. So what are they? What are the 10 generally accepted auditing standards? They fall under 3 classifications, and they are as follows. The general standards, which refers to the auditors and the individuals who are going to perform the field work. There are 3 general standards. Second, the standards of field work. What level of care should we provide to our to the work that we are performing while we are out in the field? There are 3. And finally, standards of reporting, and there are 4. So altogether that makes it 10. So let's go over quickly what they are once again. Under general standards, you have adequate technical training and proficiency being required for an auditor. So, in short, the audit needs to be performed not just by anybody, but by those individuals who, number one, excuse me, do have the credentials to perform the job as accountants, as professionally trained, and of course they understand the nature of the work that they're going to do. Number 2, in all matters relating to the assignment, they should be independent, meaning if one of the auditors that is part of this team happens to be related to one of the managers of the company, should that person continue to perform the audit? Perhaps not. So that's just an example, because that may make the audit partial, and you don't want that to happen. Next, due professional care is to be exercised in the performance of audit and the preparation of the report. So that means, in very simple terms, we dot the I's and we cross the T's with everything that we do. We just do not perform sloppy work, and we ensure that whatever it is that we gather, whatever it is that we report, is evidenced by something solid and something that is substantive. So those are the 3 general standards. Now let's go to the standards of field work. When we are performing the audit, we just don't decide one day that we are going to audit this client without any preparation whatsoever. This has to be adequately planned with the team, from the director to the manager to the supervisor and the audit staff that are involved. And at the same time, the team members, all the way up to the chain that I have just mentioned, should be properly supervised, so that in every step of the way there is somebody who is double checking the work that is being performed. You need to be able to develop a sufficient understanding of the internal control of the organization, the control environment that takes place or that has taken place for the period that you are performing the audit for. Why? Number 1, it helps you plan for the audit, for the nature and the timing and the extent of the tests that you need to perform. How much sample do you need? I know we have this conversation in our discussion forum. Next, sufficient competent evidential matter. That means that through inquiries, observations, And confirmation. Remember confirmation? Accounts receivable confirmation, bank confirmation. These are what we do in order to satisfy ourselves that the numbers as we see it, that the management reported, are the true numbers. So it would afford us a reasonable basis for the opinion regarding the financial statements that we are auditing. So those are the two classifications. The third and final one is with the standards of reporting. When we prepare the report, we know that it should be presented according to what? According to GAAP, according to generally accepted accounting principles. The report also shall identify the circumstances in which the principles may not have been observed consistently in comparison to the prior period. So if we are auditing December 31, 2014, then we will see the comparability of that to December 31st, 2013. Next, informative disclosures. That is a requirement in the financial statements. Well, the disclosures are disclosures that the management makes, and it's written on the notes to the financial statement, but it should be telling and informative that will guide our readers to better understand really what happened to this organization through this point in time. Okay? And of course, the last and the most important one is at the end of the day, when we present this audit report, it has to express an opinion. Whatever that opinion may be, on the financial statement taken as a whole, meaning not just bits and pieces, this are good, this are bad, etc., etc. No, taken as a whole. And as such, as you have indicated in our forum, you actually produce render either an unqualified opinion, a qualified opinion, right? An adverse opinion for that matter. But remember, class, the rules of engagement in auditing, these are the 10 commandments. So I hope this refresher will help you remember what you learned back in your previous auditing classes back in undergraduate school, and that it will help us and guide us as we further work on the case studies that we have for this week. Okay? Take care.